Hi, I'm Kendra, and this is my series on treating yourself how you want to be treated. I am learning how not to just react, not to run out and react when something is really sad or upsetting that pulls on my heartstrings. I'm not rushing in and relieving other people's pain. That was the old me. I don't like seeing other people suffer, but now I'm staying back a little bit, keeping myself my little bit of distance and just observing instead of rushing in. And when I do this, I can see that there's usually a reason that these people are suffering. Sadly, something that they have brought to their self in this life, probably a lesson they came here to learn. And if I don't rush in and relieve this pain, they actually might be able to learn the lesson that they came here to learn. Sometimes we learn better when conditions aren't ideal. It's not my place to rush in and take away their lesson from them. If that's what they need, they brought it to themselves because they need it. Also, I have to control my own low vibrational emotions, my own sadness, and over empathy for other people. That's my trigger. When I feel triggered, really sad or upset about something, I have to look deep inside of myself. There's something there for me to look at. And I'm really going to validate myself for this because this is new. I haven't done this for very long. It's very new to me to not run in and react and relieve pain, but to stay back and allow myself to have my own emotions and then go home and journal and figure out exactly what is happening, how this is triggering me. And as Ross Rosenberg says, observe, don't absorb. I mean, that is perfect. Stand back and observe. Don't immerse yourself into the situation. Don't absorb anything that's going on. It's not yours to absorb. Allow other people to stand there in this pain and take responsibility for all of the actions that they did that brought them to this point. This feels so much stronger when you can allow them to just accept responsibility for everything that's going on around them. Because when you step back and look at it, you can actually see the events that they did that brought this into their own life. Recently, something really crazy has happened in my life. Well, I moved back here to an area where my mom and my ex both live very close to. And I knew it was going to be tough because I actually love living 1,000 miles away from them because I was able to really pretty much go no contact and not have to deal with things that I didn't want to deal with and that I've always dealt with in a really emotional way, that now I'm back here and I have to face these things. I have to be stronger and I want to be stronger, so I want to face these things. I don't want to just react. I want to be able to stand back and not absorb anymore. This shows so much growth on my part. I have to validate that. So I'm back here by my mom, and she's been the person my entire life who I have looked to not be like. In fact, I started therapy in high school because I didn't want to end up like my mom. She's always been that example to me. She's been very, very low vibrational, narcissistic my whole entire life. And recently I was contacted by the sheriffs because she's living in her $1 million home with no electricity, no lights, no heat, no phone, no internet, nothing. But as long as she has running water and food, she's deemed fit to live there by herself in these conditions. There's nothing that no one else can do about it. And of course they contacted me, and I really just washed my hands of her like last summer when I moved here. And I went over and tried to help her, and it turned into a huge fight where she accused me of stuff that was crazy. And I had to be mean to her for the first time. I stood up to her and was really mean to her because I was trying to help her and she didn't want me to. I'm extremely triggered. She's impossible. And yet I hate to see her in pain like this. I couldn't live in these conditions, yet she is choosing to. She's choosing to not pay her electricity bill. She's choosing to live like this. And it is through the winter where it was freezing. Finally, after everyone else left, we went inside and I asked her, do you want to live like this? Do you want to change things, change the environment so that you can live comfortably? And she said no. She doesn't want to change anything. She wants to live like this. She doesn't want to turn back on her electricity. This is extremely triggering for me. And I had to go home and journal and see why this is so triggering for me. And of course, there's a lot of reasons. But one reason is because if I don't get everything in my life straightened up that I need straightened up in my finances and in my close relationships, I could indeed end up just like her. And this has always drove me to be a better person. So I have to face these things in my life and work on them. I have to work on me. This is extremely triggering and came up for me for a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons is so I can change some things that I'm doing in my life so I do not end up like this. She did tell me that she's ready to start looking for a retirement home and she's ready to sell her house. But that's going to be a whole nother humongous challenge. She's impossible to help. This is a woman who asked me a couple of years ago when we were cooking together to cut an onion, and she couldn't let me just cut an onion by myself. She was over my shoulder the entire time, dictating and critiquing every single move that I made on the onion, to the point where I was like, can you just cut the onion yourself? She's that controlling. She has to control every single aspect of everything and everyone around her. She can't let anyone help her. So to want to come in and help her will take away my peace. And my peace is not for sale anymore. I now know how it feels, because I've been on my own for almost 4 years now, to have peace, to be able to stop overeating on comfort food and stop drinking, almost totally stop drinking altogether, beer and stuff. And I know that when I start craving and needing those things, it's because something in my life needs attention, that I'm not listening to myself. And I am not giving up those things to help her. No way. My peace, my taking care of myself, my health is the most important thing to me now. Last summer when we moved back here, I and my ex-husband went over to fix her front porch for her because someone had tiled over the cement and a lot of the tiles were loose and missing. And for one thing, the HOA would have kept giving her fines. Another thing, you could fall right off of one of the pieces because they slid around. So it was a very safety hazard. We went over, we took all of the stuff that we needed to fix it, and we went over to help her. Well, it was a huge fight because she had stuff she wanted us to use. She wanted us to do a certain way. She wanted to stand out there and watch every single move that we made and tell us exactly what to do at every single second. I was like, I can't take this anymore. I want to get this done for her. So I stood up to her. I was mean to her. I fought with her. I finally said to her, you have two choices. You can let us do this exactly how we are going to do it with our own stuff, or two, we can leave. That's your only two choices. She finally backed off a little bit, and honestly, I took a break and went home and brought my daughter back, who my mom loves my daughter, and she helps her on her computer. So they worked on her computer so that she could stay out of our way, so that we could help her. That's how she is, and that's how triggering and hard she is to help. So to help her sell her house and move into an independent living is literally going to be impossible. I helped her sell her first house and move here, and she just took a huge crap on me the whole entire time. And I'm not doing that this time. I'm not. I'm staying back now. I'm observing, not absorbing. I'm not letting my emotions get out of control. I'm not being the one that directly walks in and helps. I'm allowing other people to help her. If she allows them to help her, then I will help her. My own mental health matters more to me than anything else now. And I'm so glad I was able to have those 4 years to myself to see how it feels to be peaceful, to be around peace, and to have a good feeling of mental health and health, to take care of myself, to know how it feels. So when it is being threatened, I know exactly how that feels, and it's not worth it. I will not let go of my mental health nor my physical health anymore, not for nothing and not for no one. This may seem harsh and unreasonable to people who don't have a low vibrational narcissistic parent. I get it. It would probably seem horrible to me if I saw it too. But I do have this parent, and I have to protect my peace at all cost. And I do worry a little bit about how people will see me, but not as much as I care about how I see me. I love me. I'm going to take care of me. I have to. You know why? Nobody else is. No one. And she has people who want to help her. If she won't let them help her, that's her decision, her choice. She gets to make it. And I get to make mine. I hope this helps if anybody has any situations like this out there. Anyway, thank you.